now we've done color 1, color 2, and color 3. Now we're going to do color number 4, which for me is this blue right here, which I believe is called, yes, electric blue, which I marked as number 4. Okay. So now it says in the instructions, it says following the color sequence in the notes with next color in the color sequence, attach the yarn in the corner where the marker is. Okay, so I'll show you where we're going to attach it. So here's our marker that we put in there a while ago. I'm going to put my hook into that hole, that loop where that marker was, and draw up a loop and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now this marker is showing you what side we're going to be working on. So I'm going to turn my work, and then now I'm going to go across this side, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to repeat on here. It says to repeat rows 1A to 4A. Okay, so we're going to go back up and we're going to repeat right here these 4 rows with our new color. Okay, color number 4. And that's going to make a bar across the top here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this across. I'm just going to repeat. I'm going to look at my paper, and I'm going to follow row 1A, and then row 2A, 3A, 4A. And remember, you turn your work after each row. Okay, and then remember, you'll have to pay attention to move your marker, but you won't do that until you get to the fourth row of this bar. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to finish this bar, and if you need to rewind and go back to where I did this one to follow the instructions, feel free to do that, because it's going to be the same. It's just that it's going to be a little bit wider, so some of these you'll have more of the regular 3 double crochet groupings in the middle there, with a chain 1 in between. You have a few more of them because it's wider, but the ends, what you do on each end is going to be the same as what we did for the white here. Okay, so I'm going to pause the camera, and I'm going to finish that bar, and then I'll come back, and then we will attach our new color, which will be color number 5, and that's going to finish the first complete round of our blanket. Okay? Okay, be back in a minute. Okay, so I've just finished rows 1, 2, and 3 of this new color, which is color number 4. And I was just going to go do it with you again to show you when you need to move your marker. Okay, so I did row 3, and I turned it over to start row 4A. On their instructions it's called 4A, and I chained 4 up. Okay, and so now it says 2 double crochet in the next chain 1 space, which is going to be in that first hole. Okay, so 2 in there. 1, 2. Okay, so now we're going to move our marker. So I'm going to come over here and take my marker off of here. I don't need it there anymore. And you want to put the marker into this chain 4 loop that you made right at the beginning of this row 4A. Okay, so we moved it. Now it's good where it's at for a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and finish row 4A across. So chain 1, 3 double crochet, because we in the regular section, right? Remember, so you have chain 1 and then 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 double crochet in these middle holes. Okay, so I chained 1. Now I'm going to do 3 double crochet into this next hole. 1, 2, 3. Okay, chain 1. Okay, now I'm going to do 3 double crochets in the next one. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. Pull me out some yarn. 3 double crochets into the next hole. 1, 2, 3. okay? Chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next one right there. 1, 2, and 3, okay? Chain 1, and then before I do this last one, I'm going to go over here and see what the instructions say toward at the end of the row, and it says 2 double crochet into the last chain 1 space. So we're going to put 2 into this one, okay? So 2, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, okay? And then see, we're not at the end yet. We still got this little jag over here that's sticking out, so let's see what we need to do there. It says to chain 1, and then we're going to put 1 double crochet on. We're going to skip this stitch, and we're going to put 1 double crochet at the top of our chain, beginning chain 3 that we had on that row. So 1 double crochet at the top. Okay, so there's the end of that bar right there. That's the 4 rows that we needed for that color. Okay, so now it says to fasten off. Okay, so I'm going to get my scissors right here, and I'm going to fasten off. Okay, move that back a little bit, and then I'm going to chain up 1, but then I'm going to just pull it all the way through and tighten it up. Okay, so it says fasten off, and then it says to turn it, so I'm going to flip it over. Okay, so see, now we have our, I'm going to zoom you out a little bit. Whoop, wrong direction. Okay, so see, there's our square. And we are on the right side. This is telling us this is the right side of the blanket. And so far we have 3 sides done so far. That's a straggler, okay? So we have 3 sides done. Now we need to cover up this side with our new color, okay? So we are now on color number 5. Only one we haven't used yet. Okay, so I'm gonna get color number 5. For me, it's this color, which is sky blue, okay? And it says to join our yarn where that marker was. So here's the marker. This is the loop we're going to go into. So I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to work across here, starting with where the marker is. Put my hook into the loop and draw up a loop with my new color, okay? And then chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then it says, now see, now that I'm starting a new color, I'm going to go back to my instructions here, and I'm going to start back at row number 1A again, and I'm going to do 1A, 2A, 3A, and 4A, okay, of that section. So actually what you can do, I like to make notes on my pattern, so I'm going to take mine, and then I think I'm going to use, I'll use red so that way I can see it good. And I'm going to put a bracket around this section right there, see? Because that is where all I'm going to keep doing these, repeating these rows in my color sequence. See that? So that's the part I'm going to be doing over and over. In other words, I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, change my color. 1, 2, 3, 4, change my color, like that, okay? Okay. So, we are starting our next new color, okay, the scissors. Then we're going to be back at row 1A again in our instructions, okay? So we chained up 3, and it says 1 double crochet in that same corner, okay? You can ignore the marker right now. Okay, so 1 double crochet into that same corner. Whoop. Okay, so now we're going to follow the directions, and it just has chain 1, 3 double crochets into these holes across. So it would be this one, and then it would be this hole where the 2 colors are joined together. That's another space. And then you're going to have these across here, and then we're going to get across to the black. Okay, so now we're just going to repeat the instructions for row 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. And remember, you turn at the end of each row, okay? And so let's finish up that bar, and I will come back to you, and we will, I'll show you the moving of the marker and turning of the sides again to add our next color, and then you can work on your own from there until we get Well, until you get to the desired size, and I will be working on it on my blanket to get it to the desired size, and then I'll come back when I'm ready and I will film tutorial showing you how to do the border. Okay, finishing up the blanket. Okay, so I'm going to finish this side, this bar here, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've done 3 rows of this last new color number 5, and now I've finished at the end of row 3A, so I'm going to turn my work and I'm going to start row 4. Okay, and it says on row 4A is I'm going to chain 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to do 2 double crochets in that very first hole right there. So 2 double crochets in there, 1, 2, and now I need to move my marker. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and get my marker, take this off, and I'm going to put it in the chain 4 loop that I just made. Okay, now after I do that, now you just continue on and finish up row 4A. Okay, so it says to chain 1, and then 3 double crochet into the next chain space, which are these holes that are going across here. So it's going to be this one. So 3 into there, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 into the next hole, 1, 2, 3, okay, and then chain 1 and then 3 into the next one, 1, 2, 3, okay, chain 1 and now 3 into the next hole, which is this one, 1, 2, 3, chain 1 and then 3 into the next hole right there, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 into the next one, 1, 2, 3, okay, and then now in chain 1, and then the last chain space, which is this one, the last hole, we're going to put 2 in there, 2 double crochets. So 1, 2, and then to finish off the row, see we have more that we need to, not quite to the end yet. So we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to skip the next double crochet, and we're going to do 1 double crochet in the top of that chain 3 turning chain that we had from the row before. Okay, so there we go. So we have now finished the bar, the color bar for color number 5. Okay, and we have completely enclosed, see, our in my case it's red, but our center square. Okay, so I'm going to fasten off. Find my scissors. There they are. Okay, so I'm going to fasten off by cutting my yarn, chaining up 1, and then pulling it through, tightening it up. Okay, and then it says after you fasten off, then you're going to flip it over. Okay, so now it says then you follow the sequence. So now I'm going to go back to my pattern, and it's over on page number 1. Okay, so this is why I wrote all these numbers down. Now what we've done is we've done one complete sequence. We've done colors 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Okay, so in the instructions there was 1, and then the next was 2, and then we followed the sequence, right? So we had 1, which was the center square, and then I wrote it here so I can get all, because instead of, see, she wrote it out in words, but I went ahead and gave each of the colors a number. So that way, if you're not using these colors, you can still remember how the sequence goes, okay? So the first one is starting with the center square, which is 1, and then I went over here 2, 3, 4, 5. See, that was my first, which they called that round 5. She calls it round 5. That's our first sequence of colors. Okay, so we're finished with that. So I'm going to come and get my pencil here, and I'm going to check this off. Okay, because I did that one. Okay, so the next sequence is this one, see, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to start it with color number 1 again. Okay, and so for that round, we're going to be starting over with color number 1. So my color number 1 is this red. Okay, so I'm going to find my marker, turn it, because now I'm going to go across that side starting with that marker. Okay, so then I'll attach my yarn into that loop where the marker is, and I'm going to attach my yarn, color number 1, and I'm going to start the sequence over again. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the side, because it is a square, and so it has 4 sides. Okay, so I draw up a loop and then chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I start with my instructions on my second page where I'm doing a repeat, and I drew those brackets. Okay, so I'm going to start with row 1A again, and I'm going to do that for my first color. Okay, so I'm just going to keep repeating this cycle. Okay, so I've started color number 1, because this is my next row to get all the way around. Okay, and so I'm going to do row 1 here, and then when I get finished with that, when I attach again, I'll do color number 1, and then 2, 3, and 4, and that will completely enclose this square again. See, and then I'll look at my color sequence, and that will be this one. See, and then so the next time I make a square, the 4 sides, I will start with color number 5. 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then my next round of 4 will be 4, 5, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 1. It's always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But it alternates where it's at, because there's only 4 sides to my square. Okay, so I hope that is I hope you understand that. I think it makes sense, maybe. Anyway, that's what you do. And see, she has the color sequence here, and she wrote it out in words. I just numbered them, because that way, if you want to change colors and not use these colors, you can just be able to still follow the sequence of what order you need to use the colors. Okay, and of course the pattern that you use for each one of those is on the second page, where it says row 1A all the way to 4A. Okay, and that is your repeat. Okay, and then you change to the next color, and then you do that again. Okay, see? Okay, so I'm going to stop the video here. If you need to rewind and follow what I did for these bars, you could rewind to where I'm doing the white one, because that one, I did that one complete, and it's going to be the same thing. I'm doing the same thing each time. Okay, and I showed you a couple of times there how to move the marker, and how that shows you what side that you're starting your next color. Okay, so I'm going to continue on with my blanket, and you continue on with yours, and then once you get to your desired size, however big you want it, then I will come back and I will do the end of the pattern, which is showing you the border. Okay, so I hope this helps. I hope you don't have any problems following this tutorial. You can always rewind it and start with where I'm adding the color bars, because it's all done exactly the same. Okay, after we do the center granny square. Okay, and just continue on repeating around until you get to the size that you want. Okay, so I'm going to sign off for right now, and I will film the next part when I get to the part where I'm going to get ready to do my border. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have fun making this blanket. And I know that I'm enjoying it. I love the way the colors are coming out. And also, one other tip that I have is to, as you see, I'm going to flip this over. As you see, I've got lots of ends, because you're going to have the beginning of the bar and the end of the bar, and you're going to have all these straggly ends. So what I'm going to do is each time I make a complete square like I did now, I'm going to go back and I'm going to go ahead and weave in my ends before I start my next round. Okay, so that way we won't have all these ends that we'll have to deal with at the very end of our blanket, and we'll have all of these ends that we'll have to weave in. Okay, so I'll talk to you soon, and happy crocheting. Talk to you later. Bye.